Hello everybody, Matt here, and I'd like to introduce some Shucks previews for 2022. It's not long till our actual Shucks convention, and over a series of videos we're going to be showing you games that mostly are going to be at the convention. Now, importantly, these are not reviews. We haven't played a lot of these games. All we're going to be doing is showing you what's in the box and giving you an outline of how these games play. No opinions here, no real editorial. Do not get it confused with our bread and butter stuff. But still, there's some exciting and interesting stuff here, some of which has never been seen before. Exciting. Without further ado, please enjoy a selection of lighter family fun games.
Ready yourself, set yourself, and then bet yourself. We're going to be looking at Ready, Set, Bet by John D. Clare.
An AEG, a killer combo. Designer.
They've done some great stuff together.
They have.
This is a game of horse betting live style.
Yeah.
Like when you're at the actual horses.
Yeah, it's just like the real horses. They're really small and wooden, and everyone bets
tiny
with
horses.
these tiny number things. Shall I explain you again?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Ready, Set, Bet. It's a real-time dice rolling betting game, and it has a house player who kind of fills the same role as like the storyteller in Blood on the Clock Tower.
Okay.
But for horses. Do you want to be the house player?
I'd love to be the house horse.
Normally you would have more people around a table. This goes up to 9 players. You can play with lots of ways of making the house player like an app, or you can have the house player involved with house bets. But the manual recommends for the first time, you just have someone just rolling dice for the game.
Just a human.
A human rolling dice. We're sort of just going to have one big chunky phase and then a big resolution phase afterwards. You're going to start rolling those dice, and when you roll that number, you move that horse 1 space forward.
So it's horse number 7. No. Yes.
Yep.
I can count.
Moves
horse number 7 goes
space.
1 single space.
And then you're going to keep rolling them in real time, over and over again, moving the horse. Horse 2/3.
Horse 2/3, your time is up.
Roll
it's
again.
horse number 5. Horse number 5 is moving. It's
Of course.
horse number 10. God, I'm really showing my inability to not even count, just read
numbers. Yeah, they recommend the sort of most experienced player gets to be the one
experienced numberist.
Yeah, the person who's best.
It's 11/12 coming up the rear. Number 6. First move.
You're doing a killer job.
First move, it's number 7 again, number 7. Obviously, so the odds are...
Yeah, weighted into the middle.
To do with dice.
Now, here's the thing though. If you roll the same number twice in a row, that horse gets some little bonus movement and is going to jet off a little bit faster.
Okay, so the 7 doesn't get any bonus movement.
Nope.
Because of the odds.
yes, because of the odds. And on either end, so the 2/3, not only do 2s and 3s trigger each other's bonus movement, so you're kind of more likely to get that number, but also they move even further.
Yeah, they got some big old numbers there. Oh, the horses are going to fall.
The
horses have fallen into the bin.
As the announcer, you have a couple of responsibilities. You've got to make the race exciting for everyone else around the table, and you've also got to make sure that you announce the numbers as they happen. If you roll a 2, if you roll 2 1s, you have to say snake eyes. It says that in the manual, which is like my favourite rule in the game, ever. You also have to announce when you cross the no bet line, because while you're doing this, what are all the other players doing?
Betting.
They're placing
frantically.
Bets. You have this huge bet board in front of you that has all of the horses listed down here and all the possible bets you can make on them over here. Showing is in the top 3, placing is in the top 2, winning, obviously, number 1. You have some other bets up here, like blue horses win, or orange horses win, or red horses win. You have these prop bets, which are unusual. They show certain horses finishing in front of certain other ones. And a little module you can play with are these exotic bets, which have lots of different things that you can bet on that are a little bit fruity for each round. You're going to have one of those.
I think the zebra's going to win.
I think the camel's got this one. At the end, once someone has won, we then basically just count up bets. Like if you bet your 4 chip on the 9 space, you're going to get 4 multiplied by 9, which is what? £36,100,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a horse.
I think that's basically the whole game. The person at the end with the most money wins.
Yeah.
Very straightforward, real-time betting dice rolling game. I'm excited to give this one a little bit of a play.
A little country tri-horse.
Tri-horse.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought you were going to go nee after that, because you kind of went like... Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
That's that. Next,
Ready, set, bet.
Next video, please.
Hi, welcome to another Shucks preview. This time we are looking at Phantom Inc., the word game of unfinished business. It kind of fades out on the box there, it's quite clever. This is a word game, party game about ghosts and Ouija boards, but it doesn't have a Ouija board because that freaks people out sometimes. It's just got this notepad. Now, This is one of your classic codename style guessing games. You split into 2 teams. On each team is a ghost or spirit, and everyone else on each of the teams is mediums, trying to communicate with that person and get the answer to a question. Now, the wrinkle here is that these word cards give you 6 different options for words, and one word will be picked by both of the spirits at the table. This means that all of the information that is dispersed around is interesting to everybody who is playing. Now, these question cards give you an opportunity to ask questions of the ghost, but importantly, the questions are always secret to your side of the table only. You look through a hand of cards and you pick out 2 questions that you want to offer the ghost. The ghost will have a look at them, pick one that they think will actually potentially be helpful in the game, and then proceeds to start spelling out their answer. Now, they have to do this 1 letter at a time, and at any point during this writing, after any of the letters, one of the mediums on their side can say "Silencio" in their most dramatic available voice, or "stop" if they prefer, or "Silencio, silencio, silencio." At this point, the ghost stops writing, leaving a half-complete set of letters for the other team to guess what it is. You know what it's probably going to be because you've seen the question. Like, if the question is about what material it's made of and it starts with a G and an L, you probably know that's going to be glass. But the other side don't know what you've asked, so that could be glass, or gloom, or glimmer, or glamping. If the ghost gets to the end of the word, they have to put a full stop so everybody knows that that was actually the end of the word. And there's a couple of other wrinkles, as you're only allowed to guess that you've got the right answer by taking up your entire turn, losing you a question, and the answering of questions has to be done in the same way as the asking. The medium will write 1 letter at a time, with the ghost not able to communicate. In theory, the ghost is supposed to be completely silent throughout the whole of this business. I mean, you probably will end up chatting a bit, but if you want to go for maximum drama, get some magnets under the table and special pens, I don't know. There's a lot of room for theatrics here. The medium will write down the answer 1 letter at a time, and the ghost will have to knock on the table or raise their finger to their lips to say "Silencio" in their own ghostly way. That is basically the entirety of the game. It's quite clever. It's very simple, and there are lots of these cards with some interesting questions and some interesting, what's the word for this thing? Clues. Clues? Targets? Words. Interesting words. I don't know if the words are that interesting. Submarine, that's an interesting word. And that is Phantom Inc., a party game of ghosts and guessing and secret information and writing on a thing and pretending you're a ghost. Ooh, silencio.
Hello and welcome to this slightly different Shucks preview of Trust No Bunny. This is a social deduction game for 5 or more players that exists entirely in the digital realm. Oh, where's the boards? Where did dang toot in the second? Where's the box? Calm down, it's just a digital game. It's just a digital game, it's fine. And I'm going to pivot my face over to the screen. I'm going to bring up the bunnies so I can show you what this thing's about. In this game, you are bunnies defending your town from the horrors of the outside. You're going to be playing a series of nights where the town will be attacked by monsters, and each night you'll collectively choose 2 or more bunnies to go on watch. This basically means that they're going to spend the night defending the town by playing cards to keep its big exterior wall and terrifying tower intact. Each card is going to have a point value that will contribute to the defense. It will defend 1 damage apiece, but you have limited cards at your disposal that get discarded permanently when you use them, and the rounds get more intense as the game goes on. And of course, this is a social deduction game, so there are traitors in your midst. As you can see here, at the start of the game, 2 of our players will be selected as were-bunnies. Their goal, of course, is to make sure that the town falls before the 5 nights are over, and these were-bunnies have the opportunity to play cards to damage the town in addition to the outside threat, rather than patch it back up. Sounds pretty simple, sounds pretty straightforward, so what are the key little features, the weird little quirks that make this thing unique? The first thing is a quirk. Players are given quirks at the start of the game, if they are good, that will negatively impact their ability to play the game in a straightforward way. For example, here, my character is clumsy, which means that they're not going to be very good at constructing the wall when they're posted to it during the night. That's going to make them seem, well, sus. That's what the kids say, right? The bad bunnies, on the other hand, get mutations which do something similar but more evil. And every player, regardless of alignment, is going to get their own unique item, which is both usable in a good way and a bad way if it's put in the wrong hands. So you've got plenty of unique quirks and items to keep the experience fresh, and of course, as this is a digital game, the sky's the limit on how many of these they could potentially put into the game. Another lovely detail here is that during the night, you're split off into separate voice channels, meaning that you can privately scheme with people on your side, knowing that no one else is going to be listening. A nice little feature that's integrated into the core of the game, as well as the regular text chat that you've come to appreciate in these things. And another cute little feature is that staying at home isn't necessarily all bad. You'll get an extra card if you stay at home, meaning you'll be better for next round, but you can also bless other players to give them an additional card, which means they'll have more ability to play cards next round, which is great if they're good. Not so good if they're an evil bunny, because they can use it for bad things. You also have other options like predicting whether or not the town is going to take damage. Again, that's usable by both good players who are holding out hope, or bad players if they know that it's going to go into the toilet. And they can also, during the night, use their unique items for special abilities to help them suss out who is sus. I said it again. The savvy amongst you might have thought, though, why don't the good players just tell everyone what their quirk is? That'll make the game a whole lot easier, a whole lot more solvable. Here's the thing. The bad players have a special trick up their sleeve. If they are not chosen to go on the mission, if they stay in town during the night, they have the option to sabotage a player. And if they correctly guess that player's quirk, that player loses their item, their other special power, for the rest of the game, which is huge and damaging. And I think the bad players also get some extra cards as well, so a really quite mean thing, which means that you want to be cagey about what your negative trait is, which is super unhelpful because you can't say why you don't want to do something. But you do get a scrap of information, because if you're sabotaged, you know that a bad player was kicking around during the night and they were at home. Now, of course, at any point you can vote for who you think the were-bunnies are, and if you guess both players correctly, you'll win the game. And of course, bad will win if they manage to destroy the town before the 5 nights over, and good will also win if they manage to bear it out. Or bunny it out, I guess. I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. That's Trust No Bunny. It's a social deduction game for 5 or more players. It's available in Steam Early Access. It's available on mobile. It's available in your web browser. And I believe, citation needed, it's also available for every attendee of Shucks. There's a download code. Should have found its way into your inbox at some point. You can check it out for free. That's the end of this preview of Trust No Bunny. Sorry it was just me on my own for this one. I couldn't find 5 friends. On to the next preview. Have fun.
Matt, welcome to Dodino Island. Dodino or Dodino, who's to dino? But what I do know is that me and you are gonna race Dino Dodos, Dodos riding dinos, to become the Dino Despot of Dino Dodo Island.
Whoa. This is a game of dinosaurs being ridden by, you got it, Dodos.
You can kind of see them on the little miniatures, which is very, very cool. You can see the tiny little dodo on top of the big old dino.
And there is a very impressive selection of different dinosaurs and dodos to be in this box of things. So Tom, Please, just tell me about this game.
I'm going to tell you about it real speedy because it's a real easy game. This is a race game. We start here. We want to get here. The first person to get to the finish is the winner. What we're going to do, we're going to do two things. We're going to do scheming and running, the two things that Dinos and Dodos like to do.
And maybe if they'd done less scheming, they wouldn't all be dead.
Whoa. In the scheming phase, you're going to take a card, you're going to play it face down in front of you. In the running phase, you're going to reveal those cards and you're going to activate them. Nice and simple. The number shows you how far you're going to move, and the other thing is an effect that's going to happen when you move.
Throwing bananas.
Throwing bananas. Did I mention this is also a silly little dexterity game where you've got these little pieces and you're going to throw them onto the board when you do certain effects. Let me give you an example. The meteorite, you drop it from a height. And if
you just straight up killed that dinosaur.
I'm so sorry.
And what about the log? I throw that on?
No.
It's a log.
The log you roll from atop your dino. So we'll take a dino here and we'll show you roll like this. Okay, I messed that one right up.
Success.
But if you hit another dino, you're going to do them some dino damage. And if you run out of dino cards in your dino hands, then we'll go back some spaces.
I don't know. I think it's funny that there's a banana in this because I'm pretty sure the banana was invented by humans.
Genetically grow,
So
modify.
it wouldn't have been here. So I enjoy that. Maybe it's an in-joke for people who are interested in fruit biology. But what's this, Thomas?
It's another board. That's right. There's loads of stuff in this game, including this lovely cosmic shiny board.
Yeah, that's
got to put this in the middle here.
A glint to it.
Isn't that cool?
It is a. That's pretty.
It's quite sexy, isn't it?
That's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
There's a cosmic glint to this. I'm not sure how they're doing this. It looks like I've added this in After Effects, but I haven't. Of course.
And then on the other side, there's like ice, I think, on the inside of that
So
board.
the dinosaurs are basically doing their own Rainbow Road sort of
Yeah.
situation.
You've got very, very large dice as well.
The dice are
See how
gigantic.
huge these dice are.
Like, you know, for scale here, it's a human hand. Do you want to just drop those dice on my hand? God, I'm in so much pain. That is Dodos riding dinos.
The game.
The game.
It's a race for your family.
Documentary. Goodbye. Thanks.
Bye.
Welcome, humans, to a world of kites. Kites. It's time to fly.
It is. It's time to fly with Floodgate Games. They made us a real-time kite flying game for 2 to 6 players.
Age 10 plus.
10 plus.
You're a little kiddie? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get a real kite.
Mainly because these are a choking hazard if you're under 10.
Yeah, I mean,
you could
fair
swallow
enough.
a whole thing.
I feel like they're a choking hazard for me, but that's because I'm an idiot.
Just before we started filming, Matt uncorked one of these little things and just chugging it straight away.
Had to go to A&E. Took a lot of time out of our day. But anyway, what's the deal with kites?
It's a real-time kite flying game. And let me tell you, this is nice and simple and easy. We have a big deck of cards that I've sort of split between us. So we've got half a deck each. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and get through this whole deck by the end of the game.
Right.
What's the deal with these sand timers? It's nice and simple.
What is the deal with sand timers?
You got a hand of cards, and each one of these cards in your hand has a symbol that matches and a colour that matches one of our 6 kites.
Kites.
And what you're going to do on your turn in this real-time game is just simply play a card from your hand, and if that kite is currently lying flat on the ground, you're going to set it into the air by turning it like that.
That's very sweet.
Exactly, and letting it start dribbling down. We also have
That big wet kite.
yeah, big wet kite in the sky. We also have a white kite, which is always going to be going, doesn't have a card corresponding to
That's
it.
just a cloud.
That's just a cloud. So all you do is you play a card, set a kite going. And then it might be your turn. You're going to say, hey, I'm going to play a little card to set a kite going.
But I've got one that has 2 different colours.
Oh, that means you're going to have to set both of them going, unfortunately.
Oh,
Now,
but Tom, I've started to realise
yeah, the red timer just ran out.
kite is just gone.
That means that we lose, unfortunately.
What?
Yep, the whole game. So what you've got to be doing is you've got to constantly be playing cards as fast as you can to make sure that these kites are flying, because if you play let's say that red is going, you play a red card and you flip it back round the other way.
Right.
So you've got to constantly, it's like a game of spinning plates, you've got to keep these kites in the air by constantly playing cards to keep your kites afloat as a team.
And then we win when we've got through all of the cards.
All of the cards in the whole game. Yep, the ones that have doubles mean you have to flip both at the same time, and the ones that have singles can also be used to flip the white timer, which is sort of a general one that is just always going,
Got it.
no matter what.
Got it.
Now, let me tell you about a couple fun little wrinkles in here. The first one, you might think that all these sand timers have the same amount of time in them. They do not. They all have slightly different amounts of time in them.
Because of a production error.
Yeah, sorry about that. All the copies are going. No, it's deliberate.
That's cool.
Who knew?
But do you know which ones have less in?
Yes, so they range from red being 30 seconds to white having 60 seconds and purple having 90 seconds.
Right, I was going to say that the red one seemed pretty fast.
It's
to me.
real fast.
So
yeah. So it's a real-time game of playing your cards as fast as you possibly can.
I
You've got
seem
to
to
get
have
them
a
on
lot
the
more
deck.
red cards, which
Yeah.
is that like that's on purpose?
Probably.
Probably. Games, how do they work? No one knows.
Now, there's a couple of quick twists that I want to go through before we end this very short little preview, because you probably get a good idea of what this game is already. First little twist, when we run out of cards, we'll still have some in our hand, right? Once you've run out of cards, you cannot flip the white timer ever again. So you have exactly that amount of time to finish the game, play all the cards in your hand before the game is over, which means you have a little panicked finish. It's like the grand finale.
Right.
At the end.
But surely after you've run out of your cards, what do you do when you haven't got any cards?
You've still got some in your hand.
Oh, I see in the deck.
Yeah, there we go. The other thing, hey, this game seems really easy, doesn't it? It seems way too simple.
I love kites.
Let's make it more challenging.
What?
Special cards that you get over here, like these ones, crossed lines, mean you have to swap your cards with the other players around the table. An airplane allows 0 communication between everyone around the table. And the storm means you have to flip all the timers, bam, 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 at the same time, as soon as it gets played.
That could be very bad, but also
Very good. That's kites. Time to
Kites.
fly.
Who knew?
Floodgate, Beth Sobel, a designer. I forgot the name of the designer.
Kevin
Hamano.
Kites.
Kites.
Kev.
Kites with Kev. That's what they should have called it.
Hello and welcome to Cheese Thief, and more importantly than anything in the world right now, special guest star for the video, this mouse. I love this mouse.
Welcome to Cheese Thief, Matt. It's a competitive blood sport for 4 to 8 players made by Double Kill Games. They're literally called Double Kill Games and they made Cheese Thief. I love it so much. In this game, you are going to be either a sleepyhead, like this, or you're going to be the Cheese Thief, like this.
No.
There are only 2 roles in the game, sleepyhead or cheese
Sleepyhead
thief.
or Cheese Thief. So
Yeah.
it's a hidden identity game?
Yes.
With cups.
Exactly, with dice cups and with a cheese. Can you guess which cup hides the cheese?
I'm gonna guess, hang on.
I really want you to get this right.
I'm gonna guess this one.
Ta-da! And that's the game.
I
You've won.
legitimately didn't know.
Isn't this the
And
best
also, I
component
had
ever?
not seen this yet because
Yeah.
you set this up when I was in the other room. Wonderful.
Yeah,
It's
great
just a
stuff.
sponge. People at home, it's just a sponge. Quite clever, really. Little
Yeah.
triangle of sponge.
Love a
It
little
already
bit
looks like cheese. It's a component that already exists. It's called a sponge. Look it up.
Yeah, that's good. So in this game, it's a very, very simple game. One of you is going to be the cheese thief. Everyone else is going to be a sleepyhead. The first thing... No, you can take that off. Don't worry. The cheese is going to sit in the middle of the table for the whole game until the cheese thief steals it. You're going to take your roll. You're going to keep it secret. And you're going to take a single dice and pop it in your little cup. This is for between 4 and 8 players, by the way. It's not a 2-player game, so this is going to be janky. You then give it a roll, and you dunk it, and you very secretly take a little look. You'll have a number between 1 and 6, because that's how dice work.
That's usually how dice work.
This is going to give you the time at night that you're going to wake up. The moderator of the game, which is a player who also plays the game, you don't have to have some kind of blood on the clock tower.
Is this a cheese dream? Not here.
Yeah, this game isn't real. It's not. It's a complete.
This game
fake and a
it's
fraud.
like wonderfully makes less sense than the actual game I dreamt last night. So
You've got to tell me about that after we
Yeah,
record
it's
this.
odd.
Yeah, I'm sure. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a little look. That's the time you're going to wake up during the night. They're going to be, so between 1 and 6, there'll be 6 phases of night. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and 6 a.m. And the moderator, who also plays the game, is going to have their eyes closed and they'll say, if you are waking up at 1 a.m., wake up now. If you are the cheese thief and you wake up, you have to take the cheese. But obviously, other people might wake up at the same time. And they just watch you stealing the cheese. They just have to look at you doing that. If you are a sleepyhead, the other role, and you wake up and no other sleepyheads wake up at the same time, your little special ability is you can look under someone's cup and see what
Right.
time at night they're going to wake up. But if you wake up at the same time as another sleepyhead, you both, and I'll read this from the manual because it's fantastic. If the sleepyhead opens their eyes and sees any other players doing the same, they must do nothing or simply smile at them silently, which I really like.
either or.
Either or. So you'll kind of create these miniature trust networks. And to make things a little bit fairer for the cheese thief, at the end of the night, depending on the player count, you will tap a number of players who become your followers. And they have to make sure that you do not get detected as the cheese thief.
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, what happens if you just get spotted taking the cheese?
Then that person knows that you are the cheese thief, but then how can they trust Do you know, like in the discussion phase, you'll be like, I saw Tom take the cheese. And they'll be like, yeah, and? Because then your follower will be like, no, you didn't. I saw Matt take the cheese or whatever. And so on and so forth. And there becomes this like slightly brutal discussion of where the cheese is. At different player counts, you'll have different ratios of followers to sleepyheads to cheese thieves. And you'll have different ways of who knows who is. So I think at some player counts, you'll have like 2 followers, but they don't know who the cheese thief is. They just know that they're followers.
Classic.
And the only other thing is you have a module called the Fall Mouse. There's this little guy who wants to be voted as the cheese thief, even though they are not, and they win the game alone if they are voted to be da cheese thief.
Sweet.
There's also an app if you wanted to do your little moderation for you, so you don't have to have a player remembering who has to wake up and that sort of thing. And that is all of Cheese Thief. It's like
Very sweet.
double kill
Very
games.
sweet. It's kind of like an appless version of Werewolf, but
Yeah.
for kids.
It's sort of like
no one's dying.
It's sort of like One Night Ultimate Werewolf, but it's about taking cheese, and it's much more like
Which is much more serious.
yes,
incident.
exactly. Yeah, that's the whole game, and it has this delightful cheese component, which I, for a moment there, was like, where's the cheese? Who's the cheese thief? And I became very worried.
I don't know what cheese is.
I don't know where the cheese is, boss. Also, you don't have to hide it in your cup. You can hide it anywhere.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that true?
I think so.
No.
Yeah.
Because they're allowed to look underneath cups. So
No, you look under your cup for the dice to know what number they woke up in the
that
night.
makes sense then. You really can hide the cheese wherever you want.
Yeah.
And hiding it in your cup is probably a bad idea.
Behind your ear.
Yeah, where are you going to hide it? Anyway, that's for you to work out and for us to think about.
In Cheese Thief. Matt, we're playing Throne of Under, and we want to get right down to this big throne that is underneath the ground.
And potentially, I think in this, you might be throwing your friends under
the
bus.
ground. Oh, bus.
An orc
yeah,
bus, though,
that's that.
because we're orcs now.
Yeah, I feel like we're just green.
We are green, but I think we're also orcs. I don't think we're just green.
Yeah.
I feel like you're dismissing the reality
I'm gonna
here.
check if we are orcs.
And he looked for the orc inside of the manual. A long journey to find the orc. For what is an orc but a green man? Thank you.
Thomas, this looks like a race game. Are we racing to the throne underground?
Yes! We're trying to get there as fast as we can, and to get inside the throne room, you've got to collect all 4 keys. Once you've collected all the keys, you can get into the throne room, win a last battle, and win the game. What do you do on your turn? Very, very simple. You're going to move to the next space, or you can move even faster if you have a portal card in your hand, and then you're going to draw a little card from the deck, and that's what you're fighting. So, if I was over here in this blue zone fighting this blue monster, I would have to beat it. How do I beat it? By playing a better card than that monster.
Oh, a better.
If I play a better card, I beat it.
It's just like poker rules.
It's just like poker rules. Higher numbers are better than lower numbers.
I was going to say it's just like poker. Uzi beats Hounty.
Yep. However, you don't just have to beat someone with a higher number. If you're in a different zone and you're fighting, let's say I'm fighting this green Deed Rock, if I have a green card, it trumps it. If you're matching the zone, that is all fine. However, that sounds really easy, that sounds really simple. Your opponents can add other rounds to the combat. So let's say I'm here and I fight something and I win, you could be like, now you're fighting this Bone Boy as well.
Oh, that's Bonerous. I don't want to fight Bonerous.
And no one wants to fight
He used
Bonerous.
to be my friend.
It's onerous to
We were
fight
lovers at one point,
Bonerous.
but then I met the superior Smooch. Worth 9 points.
Kinda. Worth 9 combat value. You don't get points in the game. It's
Don't
just
you be mean
when you
about
get-
Smooch.
I'm so sorry. If you win the combat, you're going to get that combat colours matching key, and you might even draw an occurrence, which might have an effect for everyone, like a helpful trickster. That means everyone has to give you a card or something like that. If you've already got the key, you'll roll the boon dice and collect some boons, because who doesn't love boons? And that's it. It's a straightforward race to the finish. Play cards, you draw up at the end of every turn. You got some special cards like powers and tricks. That's the game. That is.
Get your boons, whack out Bonerous, smooch it up, get to the hell, collect all the key cards, find the super shotgun. That is Throne of Under.
Collect the super shotgun.
I might be thinking of a different game.